From Christopher Doc Blaylock comes a tale of supernatural revenge. After witnessing a brutal murder by a Russian mob boss, Elizabeth Payne is hunted down, beaten, assaulted, and left for dead. What they didn't know is that Elizabeth is descended from a centuries-old lineage of powerful witches. And she's back now. She does not want justice. Revenge is not enough. It's blood she's after, and there's no depth to which she won't sink, no price she will not pay to get it.
Revenge. The sweetest morsel to the mouth that ever was cooked in hell.
From Throwback Studios. Published by Dark Gift Comics. Pariah, Blood and Mud. Sign up today. Only on Indiegogo.
Relax, open your ears real wide and say, give it to me straight, doctor, I can take it.
Get the chocks out from under the wheels. Flaps up. No offense, Margaret. Contact. We're off. Rum, rum.
Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you.
On with the show, this is it. Good morning. Good morning, Smirk. Good to see you, buddy. Me mates from down under. The link is in the chat if you want to pop in. This is an impromptu morning coffee stream. Been up since, actually, 3. I normally get up at 4, but woke up early. And I have a huge temptation to set up and do a live stream today later. Painting. I want to paint so bad I can't stand it. I've been working on my book for months now. Excuse me. And it's very different art. It's focused in on the minutiae. It's very small pen and pencil work and brush work for inking and your storyboarding and you're concentrating on that. Whereas there's such extreme freedom when you paint that I've just got a strong hankering to do that. Good morning, Carol. Good to see you. The link is in the chat if you want to pop in. Just having coffee, hanging out, chatting. Let me in the chat. Let me pin that comment. There we go. It is pinned to the top. So anyway, yeah, I got a very strong desire to paint earlier. And I was trying to figure out how to do it because my camera won't reach all the way back there. That's my actual easel behind me. And that's way across the room. This camera won't reach. But then I thought, well, hell, I've got a portable easel, so I can just set it up right here beside me and put the camera on the tripod right here, and I could paint. And so, yeah, I may do that later on today if that's something you guys want to see. I've done many live paints on Facebook, and most of them are over on my other YouTube channel, Move Mountains. I might paint some mountains. Most of those are over on my other YouTube channel. So I've never done one here. The Doc Blaylock channel is for my comic book work. Oh, Smirk says absolutely. All right. There's one vote for. We'll wait a little while, see if anyone else pops in or has any feedback. But You know, you go from doing this, and in painting we call that tickling something to death. You know, go from that to this, hold it back here, stand back, and just whoosh, paint on a moving mountain. You know what? Paint moving mountains, paint on a moving mountain. I don't know what I'll paint. My favorite things to paint are skies. I love to paint skies. I love to paint water, forests, trees. You know, that's a lie. My favorite thing to paint is light. However, light affects something, that's what I like to paint. So, whatever it is, it will definitely be an intense light painting. Uh oh. Carol says she's stuck in a spiral and it's Manicore's fault. What did Manicore do to you, Carol? Excuse me. I haven't spoken to anyone yet this morning. My father in law went in for a procedure yesterday to have some fluid drained from his lung, and the doctor punctured his lung and it partially collapsed. So Tacy went to go spend the night out there with her mom and dad to take care of them, leaving me here. So I haven't spoken to another human being since yesterday afternoon. You're in dirt mode. I, I have my own interpretation of what dirt means, but I'm not sure what you mean. Need some light painting, that's for certain. You got it, buddy. Later on today, going to set up. I am going to live paint. It might be later this morning. It just depends on how I feel. I'm still in the process of waking up. um, it's weird when you get up this early. You do it so you can ease into the day. Most of the time, I'm working no later than an hour after I wake up. So if I wake up at 4, I'm working on the book, or back when I'm painting, I'm in the studio painting by 5. Uh, so that's the purpose of getting. I'm in special mode. Are you feeling delicate? Are you feeling somewhat in need of grounding? Then you've come to the right place. Come on in. The doctor is in. I did get a call yesterday. Well, a text and then a call. One of the ways a former and retired counselor can make extra money is doing consulting work. So I did get a call yesterday to do a consult for helping set up the intake process for a residential program, a residential treatment program. Thinking very seriously about doing that. That's a big chunk of change. So, good morning, Manicore. The link is pinned at the top if you want to come in. But I was also thinking, I've never talked about obviously I'm the artist on Pariah Blood and Mud, but I'm also the writer and the creator. And I've never talked about my writing process, because writing is not something you can just show on a screen. You can hold up your artwork and ooh ah ooh ah. But I was thinking about my writing process, and I know, by the way, that that's a boring topic because I've gone on other writers' channels to watch, and it's boring. Even though I am also a writer. I've written books, and I've written comic books, graphic novels, and novels. And so this morning, my process was working, and I thought, well, hell, I'll just throw it out there. So, generally speaking, you come up with just an idea, a plot, a general framework for uh, a story, and I think of that as a house. And all the walls are not up yet. The walls are not decorated. It's not furnished. The plumbing's not in. So that's the actual guts of the story. You start adding that stuff in. And it is an underappreciated art form. Absolutely. Um, so this morning, as I was having my first pot of coffee, I'm on my second now, um, 2 sparks hit me, and they're just phrases that will come to me, and around them I build the story. So one of them was, in a moment of clarity, that line, in a moment of clarity, or in a crystal moment of clarity, or whatever adjective you want to put in there. And the other one was in thinking of describing how this particular character would describe my heroine, my protagonist, Elizabeth Payne, that she's a green eyed, hellish mystery. A green eyed mystery. Uh, yes, very, very far from boring in practice. When you're writing, it's just as easy to get in that zone as it is when you're painting or drawing. You're at the keyboard and you're just going. But those two phrases popped in my head this morning, and around them, I can build whole scenes. Um, the initial one that came into my head, the very first one in this book, was when Elizabeth is assaulted and left for dead. Um, it was, and for Elizabeth, the night goes on for days. And I thought, wow, that's a damn good line. So I wrote it down and then I built a scene around it. And again, the house is already built, but then we start adding the things. Let's see, Carol says, I was building a story, had dogs, kings, statues. Okay, there you go. And, you fill up the house. And when the house is finished and it's furnished, then you cut the ribbon and you open the door. The artwork has to necessarily follow the story. It has to serve the function of the story. It can stand on its own because all art can stand on its own. A power struggle, yes. Uh, but without the story, then it's just subjective art. To add that objective touch to it, you've got to write. And you've got to be able to write well. You've got to communicate your story. For me, what I go for more than anything in both art and writing is the powerful emotion and interaction between characters. It doesn't matter if it's two big brute superheroes fighting each other or if there's an intense conversation in the book. It's that, I said the word, it's that intensity that I go for. I like for my dialogue to be natural and have a snap to it. Um, my characters talk the way that I talk and that my friends talk, and certain other people that speak differently or distinctly. I try to pick up on how they speak, and I might add that to a particular character to distinguish them from the others. But then you run into, and Carol, I love that you said that it's a power struggle, because then you run into the thing of, sometimes less is more, fewer words, show me, don't tell me. But at the same time, there are just certain parts of a story that require the artistic application of words. And I'd have to keep that balance in mind. It's always a back and forth. When I know that a scene is not action, it is it's interpersonal. It's an interpersonal dynamic going on between any two or three or even a group of people. Then you know that's going to be dialogue heavy or narration heavy, depending on what you're doing. And that's when you've really got to step it up. In other words, you can't just fill up. If you're going to have a big wordy page, don't have dumb words. Don't have unnatural dialogue. It should flow naturally. It should sound like conversation. Your narration should be on point. It should be intelligently written. It should be intense. Those are the things that I enjoy in a book. So yeah, that's part of the process. And the overall arc comes from Stephen Brust. Stephen Brust has been doing the Vlad Taltos series, or Taltos series, since the 80s. He's not done yet. It's a total of 17 books. And his writing is amazing. And he was asked at a seminar at a college what was his model of, or his theory of writing. And Manny, I know you write, and Smirk, I know you write. So hear this. He said his approach to writing was that above his computer is a sign that says, now I'm going to tell you something cool. In other words, if it doesn't pass the smell test at the end of the day, throw the whole page away because it sucks. It's got to be cool. And cool is just whatever strikes you as cool, because what you like, someone else is going to like. I mean, unless you're Jeffrey Dahmer. So yeah, there's that. So I approach the same way when I build the house that I'm going to furnish with words and ideas. it's got to be a cool house. See what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I think it does. I lost a viewer. I only had three. How did I lose one? Who left me? When the audience is that small, you notice one leaving. So I'm always interested in hearing about other people's. Uh oh. Carol says, you know who is cool? At Manicore. You should get him on the panel. Well, he's certainly invited. Well, that looks a lot like my very best friend in the world, Charles. The link is pinned at the top. If you want to pop in and say good morning, makes perfect sense to smirk. Manny is still here. Good morning. Manny, it's pinned. Smirk, it's pinned. Charles, it's pinned. Carol, it's pinned. Want to pop in and have a cup of coffee? Come on in. I'm not lecturing. I'm not teaching. I'm not demonstrating. This is just a hangout. And I don't know how to. Oh, wait, there we go. Whew. I almost boomered the whole thing up. I almost clicked the leave studio button. Then it would just been, please stand by. We're experiencing technical difficulties. So my friend Charles is a Christian. He is a pastor, a minister. He has a degree in theology, and he has a YouTube channel that is called Tall, Long-Haired Jesus Freak. And he just launched it the other day. So if you're so inclined, feel free to get on over there. If you're not a believer, go over there and argue with him. If you are a believer, get over there and throw an amen. Smirk the Alien's pretty cool too. I like my Australian connection. Oh, Charles is at work, so he can't get on. Let's see, today's Wednesday. So you're at the comic book store already? There's no way. It's only 6:30 in the morning. Nobody in the world of comics is awake at that hour, except me. Wait a minute. Is it Wednesday? I'm confused. So Monday, Tuesday. We need an alien on the panel. Smirk, get in here. Your presence is being requested. I understand. I got you, Charles. Charles also has one of the biggest and nicest collection of comics you've ever seen. What did it end up weighing, Charles? Because you when you moved, you had to weigh your collection. Instead of saying 35,000 comics plus magazines and collectibles, you actually had, wow, I just whistled. No one will believe you had one. No one will believe you had one here if he's just in chat. You need him on the panel. This is true. This is absolutely true. I would be just another crazy UFO witness. I seen it with my own eyes. It come down out the sky and a bright light surrounded me. I was pulled up into the spaceship and then there was anal probing. I don't know why they do that. I didn't enjoy it very much, but they seemed tickled pink about it. And then I woke up in my bed. Yeah, close to 2 tons of comics. Think about that. 2 tons of comics. Jesus. Oh, me. So, yeah. Smirk, why do aliens do probing like that? Get in here and defend aliens. Close Encounters of the... Is that the 4th kind? Yeah, I derailed myself talking about anal probing. So I posted on Facebook, by the way, yesterday. That was a wet dream talk. Shut up, Manny. I posted on Facebook yesterday, I'm an analog man in a digital world, and I'm okay with that. And I could post it there. But then I thought, I'll post that on Twitter also. No, it's not something that I can post on Twitter because the word analog is analog, and these 5th graders would lose their minds over that. No, not that movie. Let's see. If there's one thing I've learned about writing, it's knowing when it's time to listen to what the universe is trying to tell you and when it's time to dive into the act. True enough, there is a time to allow inspiration to happen. But I've done a whole video. It's over on my, I might even link it because it's really good. It's a video on artist burnout, artist motivation, and inspiration. And it's what I truly believe in. It is this: the more you do, the more you can do. If you sit around waiting for inspiration, what you're really saying as an artist, at least, and I think as a writer too, is you're waiting to feel like it. But if it's your job, and fine art was my job for years, and now I guess Pariah is my job, then I'm going to clock in at a certain time and I'm going to work. I'm going to work on the book. And as I work, inspiration will come. So, yes, Smart, there is a time to just dive in and do it. And, even if a painting sucks, the next one won't because I did that one. Even if a page that I write sucks, the next one won't because I'm sitting down and I'm writing and it'll happen. So it is a process, but my firmest belief is that the more you do, the more you can do. That pool of creative energy that we pull from might be kind of shallow at the beginning of a project or of a career, but the more you do, the deeper it gets, and the more creative stamina you have to just keep producing. There's equally no doubt in my mind that that pool is finite. You can run out of creative energy just like you run out of physical energy, mental energy, social energy, whatever it may be. You can become fatigued. And at that point, put down the brush, close the word processing program that you're using or whatever it is you're doing to create, and walk away. Take a break. So yeah, I am a big believer. I teach all my painting students that, especially my introductory students. But I do have to disabuse them of the concept of, I don't feel like painting when they come into class. Well, then why did you come to class? Because we're going to paint. Don't come in here talking about your feelings. Let's talk about your doing. Don't care about your fee-fees. I need more coffee. Let me find that video for you guys. Let me go over here and log out of that channel. And then we go over here, excuse me, and we log into this channel. And if you haven't subscribed to Christopher Blaylock Fine Art, feel free to get on over there and do so. It's a pretty good channel too. I don't live stream over there like I do here. So let me see. Your channel. There it is. It's one of my first videos 4 years ago. And boom, there it is. So feel free to head on over there and give that a watch a little bit later. Hell, you can go watch it now. I don't care. There are several good videos on that channel, discussion topics. Let's see. For example, finding your voice or your identity as an artist, your name recognition and your reputation, marketing yourself, what to do when everything goes wrong, how do you measure success, is talent a bad thing? And then I have my 3 parts of 3 things every artist must do to become a professional and to succeed. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff over there, but then there's a lot of painting videos too. Last time I was on your panel, the cops came. This is true. So let's don't make that happen again. Look at my cheeks all shiny. Too much shine, not enough powder. Why does that say 105? My most successful video over there has 253 views, and it's the one making fun of that ridiculous modern art crap. I don't even remember what I said. I just know it was good. Ladies and gentlemen, the thunder from down under, Manny.
How you going, Doc?
I'm doing well, brother. How are you?
Yeah, doing well.
All right. So there, Carol, you have your wish. Why is
Maybe no
Carol?
hair flips though.
Yes. Why is Carol feeling derpy because of you? What have you done
I
to
don't know.
Carol? What have you
I
done?
think she does. She does a good enough job on her own. So
Oh, okay. All right. So it's entirely your fault. He's saying, Carol. Whatever it is you imagine he's done, he didn't. Hey, you turned
don't
your
put that evil on me.
yeah, you turned your setup around.
Yeah, a little bit. I just hate
Yeah.
that curtain. I've got to. Yeah.
Yeah, go to the
I hate looking
dollar
at it.
store, get a curtain, man.
Get a curtain. Yeah. There you go. I'll move it over here. That's better.
Uh,
A
but
friend of mine gave me one of those derpy vape things, the new ones, the
Uh-huh.
disposable ones.
uh-huh.
It's not bad.
Is it
For what
already
it
empty?
is. Like, pretty close. It's about a quarter left.
I've got where is it? Hold on a second. Here. Come here. I actually have no, that's a damn pen. What is this thing? I've got one of the derpiest of the derp ones, the one that's just a cylinder that looks like a cigarette. The problem is they also look like pins, and it's in a drawer full of pins, and I can't find it.
That one looks like that. It's just like a cigar, sort of.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Did I make a deal or something? Am I supposed to be up there now? I'm confused by that statement, Carol. Are you talking to me, or are you on another stream talking to someone else and you accidentally typed in here? So I saw Ethan was up earlier.
Yeah, he was doing a draw stream earlier.
Yeah, and I enjoy his draw streams better than I do his show.
It's funny to see him doing them again too. It gives me memories of back in the day, like when,
Yes.
in early Comicsgate when he first started doing them.
Yeah, and he was soft spoken and just
Whispering. Yeah.
not that bombastic over the top character that he plays.
Yeah.
Carol, you were certainly welcome to come in here and say good morning and have a cup of coffee. What time is it down under there?
What are we now? 8:18 p.m.
In the
nighttime.
PM. In the
Yep.
PM. So you're 14 hours ahead or behind, whatever the case may be.
Ahead in the future, Doc.
Yeah, you're in the future. What day is it there?
Today, Thursday.
It's Thursday, yes. Wednesday here.
Yeah, Vic just finished a long stream today, just before, about half
Yeah,
an
I
hour ago.
saw. I got up, and like I said, I got up at 3, and I turned on the YouTube, and I'm making coffee, feeding the dogs, and I looked, and my suggestions always go to my subscriptions first. So there's Ethan, there's Vic, and somebody else that I follow was streaming, and I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, too many options.
Yes.
I'll watch most of my streams on my phone because my computer's stuffed. I have to get a new one. Like all it does is stream pretty much. And if I'm watching more than one stream at once, it just goes to shit. Like,
Yes.
it barely streams like on its own. Like if I'm trying to stream, like if my Wi-Fi signal's fucked, then yeah, no hope.
Mhm. I've got Fire Sticks on the 2 other TVs in the house. We've got a plasma widescreen in the bedroom that's almost 5 feet across, which, by the way, heats that room up like a fireplace. But there's a Fire Stick in there, and I'll watch streams in there. And then there's one in the den where I work on comic books. I paint in this room. I draw in the other room because there's nowhere to draw in here. So I can stream.
So you got your
great Wi-Fi.
You'd have your easel in there, yeah, and then you've got your desk for drawing. Like, is that how you do it, or
No, I use a drawing board. I don't have. Yeah, I do. I've got one right here, a 16 by 20 drawing board, Masonite, and I just hold it in my lap and I draw.
Okay.
In the living room / den. In here, my easel, my stationery is that big table behind me.
Yeah.
So it'll accommodate a 6 foot tall painting by a 7 foot wide one if I paint that big.
Okay. Yep.
Hey, good morning, Shadowhawk. And I have a portable easel that I take out in the field with me when I go painting outside. But that leaves 0 room in here to draw. There's nowhere to draw. So my wife is very pleased with me. You're taking over the whole house with your art. Yeah.
Yeah, that was always the plan, love. Like,
Oh, there's nothing. Yeah, exactly. That was all part of the
yeah.
plan, maybe all part of the plan. You just go in the bedroom.
Didn't you read the fine print? Like,
Yeah, that's what you signed up for.
yeah.
When she got with me, I was a fairly successful and lucrative counselor, and now I'm a starving artist. So I think she feels like she got bait and switched. It's like,
Oh, it was a
Damn it.
setup.
damn it, it was all a setup. Excuse me while I hack up a lung.
I guarantee you, it's a lot less stressful being a painter than a counselor. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was this weird thing that happened when I retired from counseling. It took me a week to figure out that I was anxious. I was experiencing
Yeah.
anxiety,
I
and I
bet you were.
realized it's because I wasn't carrying the weight of 50 to 100 people at one time anymore.
Yeah.
I have
Mhm.
nobody to worry about but just me and my family. And I was like,
That's
oh,
funny, that, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's something you do for so long that you don't even think about it anymore. And then when it's gone, it's like,
Like, I feel lighter for some reason. What's
Yeah.
going on? Like, the
yes, need to put on weighted boots to walk or something.
weight of the world's not on my shoulders anymore.
Yes. And in particularly in mental health, you're going to lose 2 or 3 a year, suicide, overdose,
Mm.
whatever it may be, and that'll yoink the wind out of your
I
sails
bet.
if you
I
let
bet.
it. But you have to go
Mm.
on. You got to keep doing the work. So
Yeah, you imagine that. I can imagine that. Like, you lose someone, and then you're looking at your other patients, going like, "Shit! Like, I failed that guy. Like, what am I going to do for you?" You know, like, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. And missing that, you don't miss it.
No.
So
you don't.
having said that, here's one of my favorite crazy people. Hi, Carol.
Welcome to the stream, Carol's Cookies.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks.
Good morning.
Excited to be here.
You're welcome.
Good morning. Hey, you two hold it down for me. Let me go get some more coffee. I'll be right back.
Oh, look out! I knew that was
Jurassic Park already. I just
Yeah,
got here.
already. Take all of 2 minutes you've been here, and now you've been left in charge of the stream. So, how's your day been, Carol?
No. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
It's been great.
I know that stream of Vix was quite interesting. Fun times.
Oh yeah, good times. Always a pleasure being over there. No,
Shadowhawk says, "Good morning. All heading into work. I'll be listening."
I never pay attention to the chat when I'm on the panel. I'm sorry.
That's
Because
all
I'm
right,
not
I'll do
looking
that.
at the screen because
I'm
I
used to
can't
doing
look
it all.
at the screen. Yes, you have to do
I got
all.
my phone next. Yeah, I'll do everything. No, it's okay.
Okay. As long
No, I
as you
got
got
my
it.
phone next to the computer, so I can see what's going on.
Yeah, I have my phone next to me too, but it's face down. And I won't look at the
Well,
computer
that's
screen.
not very helpful, is it?
All right. See, you
Usually
guys
it's
did
putting
just
myself in the
fine.
face with it.
You guys
He
did
said
just
some
fine.
terrible things, like
Did
bad
he?
words.
Manny, you
We
and
need to declare
Smart.
range wars here.
Range Wars. He's only got 5 people in the chat, so I don't know if it's going to be that successful.
It wouldn't even be a wrench skirmish
Yeah.
war. You and Smirk worked on Artifice together, didn't you?
Yep.
Okay. And both of you are writers / creators, or
Yep.
Who
Yep.
created Artifice?
It was Smirk's initial idea, and he came to me with it because I've known him for quite a while. And then we fleshed out basically the world, built it from ground up together, like bouncing off each other. Like, it was quite a fun experience, actually. Like, I enjoyed it like a lot. Yeah.
So when you sent the work over to Vic, did you guys do a script or did you do just plot?
We gave him the first 10 pages of the script, like, so he could have a read of it and see like what he thought. And then we gave him pretty much creative control of the visual side of things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So like, he basically built what we'd given him in the outlays, and like, we didn't do any really overlays. We did a couple, like, all layouts, sorry. Like, we did a few, but not anything like serious. Like, we tried to give him as much creative freedom as the artist as possible. So
Okay. All right. But it's done now. It's in demand, or it's
Yep.
funded. Excuse me, and in demand. And how far is the book from done?
We're halfway through production now, and we're about to start the next lot of pages on stream in the next, I'd say, week. I reckon, like maybe longer. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Well, you guys feel free to drop the link. You both got wrenches. Drop your links, and if you haven't checked it out, do so. I think it's some of Vic's best work. There,
I like to hear that, Doc.
yeah, I do. I do. I can tell when Vic is interested in what he's drawing because he puts more effort into it, and he must have enjoyed Artifice because he really. There's a few scenes that I have seen that are like, wow, that is really good work.
Not to give anything away, but the next sequence is going to blow people's minds. Like, because it goes from being like not slow, but like a build up, like it builds up to where it's at now. And then, what's Smirk saying? Dream sequence. And it goes from like 0 to 100 from here. Like,
very nice. Very nice. Now, when you guys brainstormed this thing, did you do it sequentially or did you jump around? Or
we started off like
we'll say
laying anchors.
I have the end in mind and right toward the end.
Yeah, we laid anchors, like, you know what I mean, and then just built from that. Like, and like if like we wanted to move on to somewhere else, we'd move on to somewhere else and then come back to that. Like, but yeah, you lay your anchors first and then go from there.
Yep, like building a bridge, you put down the vertical pylons and then you build it.
If you don't have anchors, you just float away into the ether.
I knew you do that all the time, Carol.
Yeah. I've noticed Carol's cookies.
Are you up early or up late?
No comment.
No comment. Okay, that means up late. Should have been sleeping but didn't. Were you hanging out on Vic's stream?
Maybe.
What's on your agenda for today?
Oh, me? I have homework.
What do you got?
Crap. It's all about the research process right now for
Oh God.
Yeah, and you're on the fun stuff now too.
I'm on the fun stuff. What's my class? Manicure, you know what class? It's cultural diversity crap.
Cultural diversity, like
Yeah.
So it's gonna be lots of fun.
I got in trouble in that class because my professor, whose name was Laurie Lankin, she said, I am a lesbian, non-practicing Jewish cisgender.
So every minority group there is, basically. Like,
yeah, and I was like,
what part is she not practicing?
And I was like, what? What does any of that have to? But then she put these stations up around the room, from strongly agree to strongly disagree, and she said, I want you to go stand under which one applies to you as I ask the following question. So one of them she said was, we have failed, past tense, as mental health professionals to be culturally sensitive. So I went and stood under strongly disagree by myself.
I would have been there with you, Doc.
Yeah, and she went, why do you say that you strongly disagree? I was like, because I ain't failed at shit yet.
And as far as like psychology goes, the West has made some pretty fucking decent like headway in the whole area, you know. Like,
But I hated that class, and you know, over here, I don't know how they do it in Australia or the UK. Your undergrad, you do a research paper. At your graduate level, you do your thesis, and then at your doctorate, you do your dissertation, and they're supposed to all follow, but they don't always. And my research paper was on perceived physical attractiveness of self and others and its impact on the sustainability of any relationship.
Okay.
In real English, it just means, do you think the other person's good looking? Do you think you're good looking? Do you get along? And
are you compatible? Yeah.
Are you compatible? And how does that impact relationships? And ask me why I did that, Manny.
Why did you do that, Doc?
because it was so subjective. It was complete bullshit, and I could bluff my way through it.
Yeah.
Got an A.
See, like clinical psychology and psychology as a whole is like one of my hobbies. Like I spend like a shitload of time watching like stuff on YouTube from Jordan Peterson, from like Nietzsche, like some of the great philosophers. Like I spend a lot of time doing that. So
Yeah, the practical approach is always, what model do you practice? Are you psychoanalytic, like Jungian or Freudian? Are you behavioral? Are you EBT? You know, I am under client-centered. I am a Rogerian Kharkov. The reason is they handed us the research and we looked at it and they said all therapeutic approaches have a 60% effectiveness when realistic goals are set. I thought, okay.
Yep.
Except Kharkov. It has a 98% effectiveness when
Wow.
realistic goals are set. I said, well, that's the one I want to do then.
Yeah.
And then,
less margin for failure, the better.
yes. In other words, that car runs, so I will drive it to work. And it was the key to, so if you really want to know about how to really do practical counseling and psychology, Kharkov all day. His book is called The Art of Helping in the 21st Century. Of course, it used to just be The Art of Helping.
Yep.
And it's all about getting into the space where your person is. You meet them where they are, see things from their viewpoint. You pass no value judgments. You give no guidance. You reflect to them accurately what you're hearing versus what you're seeing. And there's always that incongruence, and you gradually bring those things together until they realize.
Yeah, till they make that distinction themselves. Yep.
They themselves realize what the problem is, and then they themselves formulate their solution. That's why it's so effective. Because if you come to me and I fix your problem, then you learned nothing about fixing.
You haven't got the tools to deal with it again if it happens again. At least if you do it that way, and they have the same issue or a different issue, they have the tools to sort of tackle it. You know.
Yeah. The best compliment you can get is, my counselor didn't really do anything. He just talked to me, but I kind of figured it out.
That's how it's done.
That means I did my job very well. Thank you very much. Now, there are some times when you want to look at them and go, you know, you might want to think about leaving that woman since she stabbed you 5 times already.
Since she stabbed you, or bottled you in the head. Like.
Yeah. Since you lost a finger to a vodka bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh?
But I love her.
Yeah. You won't love her when she kills you. Like.
Yes.
I love her even more then.
Listen, that is one of the weird things that you run into, is that codependency on relationships. It's, but I love her, but I love him, no matter how terrible it is. So then, you know, my question always becomes, help me to understand how you define love. And
that's always an interesting one.
Yeah, and they will inevitably come down with adjectives that are feelings. And then I will say, what would you say if I told you that love is not a feeling in any way? It is not an emotion. It is an action that follows a decision. Well, and sometimes you can break them out of that, but it is hard.
Smoke the Alien says that the human species is fantastically stubborn when it comes to the attribution of help from others. The best trick is to guide them into believing they have arrived at the conclusion themselves. It takes a lot of selflessness approach teaching from that perspective, though.
It does. And by the way, you don't want to trick them or to guide them into believing they arrive. You want to actually lead them to arrive at their own solutions. Now, if their solution is stupid, you reflect it again until they hear that it's stupid. You know, like I'll just wear armor around the house so they can't stab me anymore, and then our love will be perfect. I'm like, no.
I'll just remove all the knives from the house, and then there's no problem.
Yeah. Now, there are certain things that approach doesn't work with. Personality disorders is one of them. You're not going to get through to a sociopath. You're not going to get through to a borderline or any of that. Forget it. With personality disorders, all you can do week by week is kick them back into play. You know, kind of straighten them up, kick them out.
It's like a realignment every time they come and see you. Like it's like, yeah, put them back where they're supposed to be, and then when they come see you again, you've got to do it again. Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody, Carol's our research subject. Um, but anytime I had someone on my census that was a personality disorder, always the last patient of the day because they will suck the soul right out of you.
Suck the life out of you.
Yeah, you would just. There is no spoon.
There is no spoon. I see what you did there, Carol.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, I did.
I did.
Yeah, I
also,
like Jungian psychology myself. Like that's like I like that a lot. I like Jordan Peterson a lot too. He's a smart man, and the way he can dissect an idea and make anybody understand it. Like you could be from any walk of life, and the way he dissects an idea, like you'll get it.
Yeah, he does a good job of tying in anthropology into psychology. It has always been thus. Therefore, when we look at it in this context, we see this from the past.
His biblical series, he does the same thing with the biblical side too, and that's full on. Like I had some of the biggest revelations in my life from watching some of those, like 1 through 3. Like so, the Genesis introduction to God. I think the third one is Cain and Abel, but like the first 3, like they're fantastic.
Yeah, I always liked. Theologically, I am a Christian, is this statement when people say, well, show me some God, catch me some God in a bottle. And I always tell them, go catch me some gravity in a jar, show it to me.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't. Go show me some evolution because you can't. It's just this idea. Well, what I say is if I can confine God to your understanding, then he's not God.
Yeah.
A true God would necessarily be beyond our understanding.
Yeah, well, there's many things that are beyond human comprehension.
Sure.
Like, lots of things. Like, there's a lot of things that you can like begin to glimpse, but you have to build yourself up to it. You know what I mean? Like you have to like take the steps, walk the line, and build yourself up to it, and then you get a glimpse of it. Like,
yes,
but you never get to see the whole thing. Like, never. Not while you're immortal.
No. Smirk says, Carol is trying to big spoon me. I don't know how I feel about this.
Just shut up and lay there.
Shut up and lay there. Oh, shit.
Like it.
Shut up and spoon me.
Yeah, that was quite impressive. I'll give you that.
Took my breath away for a second there.
You got to be careful. Doc's getting old. You might kill him, Carol.
Yeah. Don't make me laugh myself. I mean, if you got to go, I guess laughing yourself to death.
I guess that's the way to go, isn't it? Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool, I guess. Right now, I operate under this, like, the other day I love my, oh my God. The other day I was cruising down, and at my age, you get twinges and pains everywhere. So I had a twinge in my chest. Now, I have a medical degree, so I know it's not a heart attack, but I'm like, yeah. But your thought always goes to, well, I can't die right now. I got to finish this. Is my
number up, or like, yeah, I can't go now.
I got to finish this book. People want to see it, and I've got to finish it. The problem is,
look at all that shit to look forward to. Hey,
yeah. When you roll that back to psychology, a lot of people live their lives that way. As long as I have the next thing to do, I have something to live for. But what do you do if you take away all of that? What are you living for? Something to think about. And
it's like when you ask someone, who are you? You know what I mean? And they guaranteed the first thing they say is their job or like their family. Like it's it's never who they are. They never define themselves. It's the things around them.
Very
good.
What I mean? Like, very good. In psychoeducational groups like addiction treatment, that's psychoeducational. It's very didactic. I will ask that question without using a title. Tell me who you are. And people just go,
people can't do it. Like they don't know what to do. Like,
yeah. Without fail, somebody's going to go, well, I'm a plumber. No, that's your job. Okay. Well, I'm a father.
Your job. Yeah.
That's a relationship. Who are you? And they go, oh. Now, with some people, deep thinking is not going to happen.
Yeah. And critical thinking is like next to non-existent nowadays, really.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you always have folks that are, and bless their hearts, they are who they are. But you get some that they're just dumber than a box of mud. And I don't know who I am. I reckon I'm just nobody.
There's different types of intelligence too. Like I've noticed, like, you know what I mean? Like there's probably like, there's multiple different types, and like people have their strengths and their weaknesses when it comes to that. Like,
Oh yeah. And people have value beyond talent, intelligence, athleticism, looks, whatever. You know, finding that value. Not everybody's a special little snowflake, but
no,
everybody has the potential to dig into a meaningful life. The ice is broken. We're talking now.
Ice broken. We're talking now.
In other words, you don't have to be the brightest bulb in the hall, the best looking, the smartest, the most talented to have worth.
No.
But you have to find, and this is one of the things I'm really big on personally. As a created being, I turned to my creator and said, what did you make me for? If you use the analogy, speaking like Jordan Peterson now, of the potter and the clay has no idea what it is until it is used for that purpose. Only the potter does. So when I said to the potter, you know, what have you made of me? Then I expect that answer, and I got that answer, you know, and that was, you're a healer, you're a creator, you're all these things. And I was good with that. But some people
I've done it a few times
ask
too.
that question.
You ask questions to yourself, even not even to God, but if you ask yourself a question, I guarantee you the answer will come.
Why am I
Might
here?
take a couple of days, might be 5 minutes later, but it will come.
And be prepared to be wrong sometimes. You know, why am I here? What is my purpose? Maybe you're wrong. You know, I had a good client. She was a good nurse, had the knowledge, smart, intelligent, but she did not have the heart or the instinct for it. And so she came to me at that crisis in her life, and we worked through, you know, what are you here for? Why do you feel like, what is your purpose? What are you here for? And she was able to work that into something else that she's found fulfillment in ever since. So you can be wrong, and it's okay to be wrong. Everybody makes mistakes. Carol, you good?
I'm fine.
Okay. All right. The one little dot kind of scared me.
I just, I'm fine. I'm good. Shut
So-
up. I'm gonna mute.
But I find, like you said, Manny, that is a difficult thing for people to handle, and some people never face it. You know, what do you hear? And
Some
you
people
imagine-
go their whole lives being a carbon copy of everybody else. That's the sad part. Like, individuation is something that most people were too scared to even face. Like, you know what I mean? Because it takes work. Like, and then
Yes.
when people say inner work, like, that's what it means. Like, you know,
Yes.
like, it's
Yeah.
defining who you are for yourself.
and they're living up to an expectation. I'm working this job that I don't enjoy, but I'm persistent and I'm good at it because the expectation is I work hard and I provide for my family, and that's my identity. But then why are you always stressed out? Why are you always brittle? Why are you having anxiety? Why are you having depression? And it's because you
I
pigeonhole
suffered
yourself.
from anxiety and depression really bad, and like walking the path and like becoming who I was supposed to be fixed it all. I don't suffer it at all anymore. Like 6 months ago, you get me on a live stream, no way. Like no way. Wouldn't do it.
Outstanding.
I was fine in the chat, but not here. But now, don't care.
Yeah. Nice. Very good. Yeah, I went through a phase. I have PTSD, not from my military service, but I worked in the emergency room. I saw every form of death you can possibly see. And the one that finally got me hard was this older woman screaming, "Please don't let me die. Please don't let me die." And I was reassuring her, "You're going to be fine." Well, she coded and we lost her. And that just kind of sticks with you. And that started bothering me.
Yeah,
and
that's hard.
having the flashbacks and whatever. And I had no belief in psychology. My degree was medicine. If I couldn't see it on a lab test or an x-ray or an EKG, I didn't believe in it. And then one of my doctor friends said, well, how do you explain nightmares? And he just walked away. And I went,
ooh, there's some food for thought for you.
yeah. So I went into psychology and learned better.
I have experience with PSTD too. I was in a domestic violent relationship for 5 years, and I don't hit women. I can't, and so I copped a fair bit, and it took its toll on me for probably 5 years after that.
Yeah. And mine had reached a point, ladies and gentlemen that are watching. I've shared this story a million times in group therapies. It reached a point where it shut me down.
Yeah, I was the same. I couldn't leave the house.
I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to socially interact. You're lonely, but you don't want to be alone. Uh, and then you don't want people around you. It's this really bad place. And then I had a moment. It was the weirdest thing. There was this awesome restaurant right behind my house. I had the best wings in town. So I'd walk back there and get some wings and go home. And I was walking back there and I started feeling anxiety, just that crushing anxiety. And being a person of faith,
stepping on you, yeah.
I called out to God and I said, God, either kill me with it or take it away. I'm done. And I kept walking and it was gone. Now, I believe God did that for me, but you can say psychologically, I just laid an ultimatum to myself. It's either going to kill me or it's not. However you want to look at it. And then I got better. And then I went to college and I became a counselor. And it's amazing to me that people dwell in those crushing circumstances without reaching out for help. But at the same time, you can understand why. Do you expect an agoraphobic person who has extreme anxiety leaving their home to come sit in your office? Well, no.
And it's the stigma to do with it all too, you know, like if there's something intrinsically wrong with you, you know, like you're not like you're not right. Like, and that is seen as a weakness to your peers, you know? Like,
And I'll tell people in a heartbeat too, like family members of my addicts or if someone's suffering from mental illness. It's like, wow, you know, I hear you. You know, you think this is a weakness. You ever been sick? And they go, well, yeah, I get a cold. Are you a weakling because you got a cold? Because you had the flu? Does that make you weak? Isn't it possible that your thinking can become ill just as your body can? Sure. Does that mean something's wrong with you? Yes, but it's not a flaw in your humanity. It's just something you're going through.
Well, like recently, I've been toying with the idea that, like shamanism, like what's to say that it's a mental illness at all? What if it's you're tapping into something that is there that other people can't tap into? You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a great book. I will find it so I can remember the title, and I will send you the ISBN on it, Manny. Okay. And it's all about that. If you go into the shaman's lodge, the reason it's going to work for you is he has all the right accoutrements. He has the smoke, the incense, the herbs, the this, that, and the other, whatever it may be, all the props. How is that different from coming in my counseling office and there's a leather chair and degrees on the wall, and therefore this person has the power to fix me, and I believe it.
It's a powerful thing.
Powerful thing.
It's dangerous though too. Like that's why I like faith better. Like faith is probably it's safer. You know what I mean? To have faith, like that things will work out for the best. Like like you will make the best decision when it's given to you, you know? Like,
And I was in this same book.
Because people do some crazy shit over belief. Like,
oh, hell
sorry,
yeah. No. Like, in this book, it talks about the most effective shaman, and they looked at American natives, and they looked at Aboriginals, they looked at Asian, Eastern medicine. The ones who were the most successful were the ones who basically used the same model I talked about. They helped people find their own solutions. Now, how could that possibly be true across that diverse of culture? Think about it. I mean,
we're all intrinsically linked somehow, like whether it be through the collective unconscious or Jung. Jung.
Yep. I wrote a book. It's a fiction. It's called Clockwork. I haven't published it yet because I haven't finished tweaking it, but it's based on Jung's work, where the person who is the hero of the story shares he's able to tap into the collective unconscious and even reach specific people across time and space. So this version of himself that existed in the Roman Empire has the ability to do this particular thing, and therefore he now has that ability because he tapped into it.
It's kind of like the Assassin's Creed series, the video games. Like you go, you plug yourself into the Animus, and then like you can learn your ancestors' skills by just living their life, but in a simulation.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a
Yeah.
shaman is just as capable, Smirk, of fucking you up as a counselor. But yeah, counselors can fuck up too. But if you go to a dumbass, and believe me, there's dumbasses in all walks of life. You go to a dumbass shaman and he tells you, go eat those poison berries over there, and that'll cure what ails you. Well, chances are that's not going to work out so good for you. But the ones who tell you we're going to go on this spirit walk together, and you're going to find your solution. He's doing nothing but Kharkov. He's reflecting that person's own problem back at them and requiring them to find their own solution. Those are the good ones.
Yeah, you walk the walk and you take in the sights. Like,
yeah,
I learned that from some alien fella once.
Playing a role here, Doc. Just go with it. I am so sorry. I apologize for breaking character.
It's the Akashic records too. Like, you heard of those? Like, it's like the records of like the entire existence of man, basically. Like, so I'd be inclined to believe it too. Like, I've had some experiences myself. Nothing like that, but like stuff that makes me believe that there's something and that we're all linked somehow. Yeah.
There is undeniably something to the collective unconscious, and that and Jung illustrated it with that innate fear of thunder, that innate fear of snakes. Why would you be afraid of a snake if you've never seen one before?
The dragon is the symbol of chaos, man. Yeah, and it's because like a dragon put together the things that make up a dragon. You got like a reptilian, so that's a snake, right? You got an eagle, and you got a lion. Like that, then you got a dragon, basically. And they were our three main like full predators, like from way back then. Like,
and
if you believe in evolution,
shift that to the Jungian archetypes, and you get an expansion of that. Each of those archetypes represents something or someone or parts of yourself. So Jung is very fascinating. And there is something.
He was a cheeky man too. Like, you watch some of the interviews with him, like he's got this real air of mischief about him. Like, that's what intrigues me about it. Like, it intrigued me the most about him was that.
Have you ever seen the Gloria tapes?
No, I don't think I have. I have to look.
All right, this was done back in the 60s. And there's a woman named Gloria who's going through some issues, and she goes to see three of the major founders of particular schools of psychology. She goes to see Franz, what's his name? The Gestalt guy. She goes to see Skinner, and she goes to see Rogers of Carl Rogers. And then she has to decide who helped her the most and who she wants to continue to see. Well, Franz Urkel. So she goes to Franz Urkel at the end of it all. But then later she said, I was getting nowhere with him, so I went back to Rogers, and that's when I made my breakthroughs. Rogers is the father of Kharkov, the model I practice. And you get to see a session with each of them. It's an uncut session. And I was like watching Rogers, and I was like, holy shit, there is a man that is a genius. He's perfectly comfortable with silence as a weapon against ignorance. When she says,
it's fucking powerful too.
When she made a statement that was so incongruent that it was ridiculous, he just stared. And you could see her get uncomfortable, and then the light bulb went off, that what she just said contradicted what she was there for and was identifying her problem. So she had her epiphany moment. Her epiphany moment came from his.
I've had about 3 of those in my life, and they're intense. Like the epiphany,
It's
enough to floor you sometimes. Like,
I need to go home and process this shit.
I need to go lie down for like a week.
And that's that line that hit me this morning about writing, was in a brilliant moment of clarity. That's it. That's the whole line. And I build stories around that. I build scenes around that. So there will be a moment of clarity.
That's all it takes. Yeah.
Spoiler alert for my story. My protagonist, Elizabeth Payne, is already well on her serial killer spree of revenge. And she has a relationship that impacts her. And so she takes a day and she goes to the park, and she's sitting there, and she's in disguise because everybody thinks she's dead, and sunglasses and a kerchief. And she's watching mothers and children play. and she begins to fondly think that she could have that life. And then in a moment of clarity, that darkness comes back on her, that all she's living for is revenge. And she says out loud, no, no to that, no to all of that. And she walks away. I can
That's
never have
powerful.
that. Yeah, yeah. And see, that's
'Cause
what
that
I'm
was a
after.
choice
My
she made
story
right there.
is the
Like, yeah,
intensity. Yeah.
yeah.
She didn't have
She
a
made
choice
that
at
choice.
first. She was
Yeah.
reflexively going for revenge because she was filled with
That's the
hatred.
point of no return there. Like that's like
Yes,
literally like
exactly.
point of no return.
Exactly.
Like you either make the decision and then you live with the decision you've made. Like
Now, I hope this video doesn't get views because I don't want to spoil that in the story. But there's a couple of more
yeah, no, that's
moments
cool.
like
That's
that.
powerful. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's several moments that I've really tried to build like that in the book, and I'm drawing on everything in me: my psychology training, my spiritual life, my personal lived experiences, those of some of my clients that I've had in the past, examples in literature, for everything I can think of
Mm.
to make this the most intense book I can possibly make. So
You're doing the right thing. That's basically what we did with Artifice too. Was like pulled from everywhere, like everywhere we
Yeah.
could, like everything
Yeah.
that inspired or like changed or even like made you think, like you know what I mean, like all
Yeah.
those things. Like
Yes, yes, yes. A green-eyed hellish mystery. That's who Elizabeth is to this one particular character. He's smitten by her.
yeah,
He doesn't know she's a serial killer, but there's an intensity that comes off of her that fucks with his brain. And he's like, I don't know about all this. You know, there's something dark behind those eyes. And by the way, I guess that goes back to Behind Blue Eyes from The Who. You know, just lines that come to you that inspire you. Behind blue eyes, no one knows what it's like to be the
bad guy.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
No one would get this. She can't think about this too. This comes from reading Without Remorse. So there's an aspect of this in the book, but I'm not going to plagiarize Tom Clancy. But in Without Remorse, he can't talk to anybody about what he's doing because he's killing people. He's on a murder spree and he's fucking good at it. And he knows he is. And he's walking a line between madness and logical revenge that has to happen because the police aren't doing this particular thing. And there comes a point where he comes across a crooked cop that's tied up with these people. And he's like, what do I do? Do I kill a cop? You know, and the good cops are coming, and he's like, killing a bad cop might be one thing, but here come the good cops. Am I going to have to kill them? You know, and it tells you he has the ability to do so. He has the opportunity to do so, but he has to make a moral decision. He has to escape to carry out his mission to go get these people. But his morality will not let him. Yeah. Oh, you're rubber banding on me, brother. There you go. He's moving again.
That could be my connection. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're
yeah,
right.
I've just lost. Sort of jumped out for a sec.
But anyway, I digress.
It's downstairs. So like, yeah, that's cool. You've sold me, Doc. I mean.
Without Remorse, by the way, is one of the best reads you'll ever have. You know, Clancy's famous for these global geopolitical military stories. When he takes that kind of intellectual prowess and pours it into a personal story about one character, it was a tour de force of writing. There's a passage. Basically, John Clark, CIA legend, he's a SEAL. He rescues a girl who's been a mule for a drug ring, and they end up murdering her. And they almost kill him. And while he's recovering, they show him a picture of her body, and he has to identify her. And in that moment, Clancy writes a whole page about what the nurse sees go over his face. You know, at first there's shock and there's horror, and then there's rage, and then there's a resolve that comes over his face. And he just says, get me better. In his head, he thinks, if my vanity could kill her, then theirs can kill them. Not in their worst nightmares have they even imagined somebody like me. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, shit.
Goosebumps. Yeah.
Yeah. And it'll take you there. That book will absolutely take you there. Read it.
Mm.
Without Remorse by Tom Clancy.
Without Remorse. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Good stuff. Carol, how are you? Are you asleep? Are you awake? Are you hiding under your desk?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I was just listening to you guys.
Yep. Moral dilemmas are what made The Walking Dead successful, by the way.
Mm.
I'm gonna kill everybody. Burn it all down.
Yep. I mean, the premise is they're zombies. Okay, that's the premise. That's the world. But the stories are all about moral dilemmas.
Mm.
Think about it.
Mm.
Oh, I know. I watched the show.
Yeah, that's Carol's favorite show.
I watched it until Rick left, and then I was like,
I only watched one season. I can't do it, but
Don't
I
be
think
shitting on the show. I will cut you.
because zombies are done to death. Like they've been like literally like.
Shh. Stop talking.
That's all I'll say on the matter.
Carol's she's gonna cut you. There's a moral dilemma.
You need your avatar and everything.
You know, as I'm talking about all this highfalutin stuff, I'll be drawing a page today of a man being disemboweled. So yeah, there's that. When I illustrated the scenes of what happened to her, it was gross. I needed a shower after every panel. It's like, I don't want to draw this shit. I don't want to do this, but my professionalism requires me to do it the best possible way that I can. Now, there's nothing intensely graphic because it's not necessary to the story. But just drawing an innocent person being viciously and violently assaulted and having their throat cut, and that was hard to draw. Yeah. But drawing these guys that she's killing and all these really creative and wonderful
That's easy, yeah.
No bother whatsoever.
No problem, yeah.
No problem. This particular kill she's doing, she's going to disembowel a guy with a knife. And you think, well, you know, she's a witch. What's magical about that? And I'm not going to say how she says this or why she says it, but she says, you know, the magic's not in disemboweling. The magic is that I'm going to keep him alive, conscious, and aware for as long as I went through my ordeal. So he's just literally hanging there with his guts hanging out. He's been castrated. He's dying, but she's keeping him alive. Trying to scream, but can't because the diaphragm is gone. You can't even muster the energy to scream. Just going, you know.
Yeah.
So I got to really sell that too, by the way, with the expression on his face. So I made sure to make him an asshole on every other close up.
Twist the knife at some point.
So everyone will be like, yeah, when he cops it. Like,
and I've added an element just recently. My wife loved this part. She has the golem that is at her command. And I have her speaking to the golem, but you never hear the golem speak. So either she's communicating with it telepathically, or she's gone a little bit bananas and she's talking to an inanimate piece of mud that can just happen to most not inanimate, a non-sentient
piece of mud.
Yeah.
That's a cool myth, the golem too. Like,
hell yeah. But think about that, you know, is she crazy? You know, you don't know if she lost her mind or not. And all of that, Manny, is lightweight compared to the ending. I put such a twist on the end that
you've sold me. I mean,
the three people I've told the ending, one of them yelled, the other one went, "What?" And the third one begged me to change it.
Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Like,
I'm like, no, I'm not changing. Well, they wanted me to change it because it was such a twist from what they were expecting. So
that's what you want. You want
yes,
right into the very last minute.
Yeah, and the temptation to jump to that end and draw that scene is killing me. But I know me. If I go and I draw the ending, I'll get lazy and I won't want to draw the rest.
Won't want to do it. Like, it'll give you incentive to keep going. Like,
yes, I have to keep working. All right, that's enough of that bullshit. Let's talk about Carol.
No.
Yeah, Carol.
Why do we want to talk about Carol?
Because you're an interesting person.
No,
You're
you
an
mean-
enigma.
I
You're
could show you a
enigma.
piece of her artwork.
Do that.
Go ahead.
I'll see if I
I
can
have-
find it. Is that all right?
Wait,
Yeah.
I can show you a more recent one.
Oh, can
Okay.
you bring it up, or do you have to send it to me?
I'll have to send it to you because I'm not turning my
Okay.
phone. It's not happening. Sorry. Give me a second.
Take your time. I'm in no hurry. I have pots and pots of coffee to drink, packs and packs of. You remember? Oh shit! What's his name? Bruce Willis in The Last Boy Scout.
I love that movie. It's fantastic.
Yeah, he's like, "What are you doing today?" "I'm gonna smoke these cigarettes. I got a job for you. I don't know. These are really good cigarettes. So I've got packs and packs of cigarettes to smoke.
My favorite is the warm cup of piss scene, like, and the bit where he's like, "Touch me again, I'll kill you." Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes. Touch me again, I'll kill you. Still gonna need a light.
Yeah. That's gold.
Yes, it was.
I reckon that's one of his best movies. Hey, like,
Only the
Bruce Willis.
'80s could get away with that shit. You know, those '80s action movies where the hero not only is heroic, they have all the badass lines. You know, I'm one of those people. I think of the cool shit to say after the moment is over.
yeah,
Hey,
that's me too. Like George Costanza, like half an hour later, like, I should have said that. Like,
Yes, here's what I should have said.
yeah.
Called?
I did have a moment. I got into it. The director of one of the programs I worked at was a fantastic supervisor and a superhuman being. But he got promoted and was replaced by one of the worst possible people you could imagine. So I decided not to renew my contract with that agency, and I went in to talk about it because you have to do an exit interview. And, you know, people will say, I should have said this. Yeah, I didn't have that problem after that interview. That was one time in my life I already had it in my head, and I was prepared, and I
It's ready
eviscerated
to
her.
go. Yeah.
You were without a doubt the most ill-equipped person to fill this position that could possibly have been conjured from the pits of hell.
Oh, shit.
You are ignorant of the mission, you are ignorant of the applications, and you are uncaring about the results. You wanted a raise, and that's why you took this job.
Yeah.
Okay, send it to you.
You've sent it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a fatality right there.
Yep.
Fatality.
She told me I wasn't nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
not very nice. Did you heard her Fifi stock?
Yeah, that's like, you're right. I'm not. I'm always nice until it's time to not be nice. And then I'm the
Exactly
least
right.
nice person you'll ever meet.
That's the way to live, really. Like, we've all got a beast inside of us, and it's necessary. Like,
Oh, think about this. This Jordan Peterson made this observation, and it's from Scripture, and I was wowed by it. He had come across the verse where Jesus said, "The meek will inherit the earth," and he thought that doesn't.
I love
sound
that. Yeah, that's my favorite fucking dissection of an idea. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and he said when you look it up, it doesn't mean meek in the sense that we think of meek.
Mm.
It means you're carrying
people who know how to. Yeah,
you're
people who
skilled
have
with the
swords and know
sword,
how to use them. Yeah,
but you choose to keep it in the scabbard unless
Yeah.
you have to. What? Wow,
Yeah,
that was
right.
mind blowing.
and it's nothing what like you think the word means, because like the translation sort of changed, like, and it's got muddled. Like,
Yep. So that was a wonderful observation, and I was like, I need to know if that's true. I went and looked it up in the Strong's Concordance, and sure enough, it translates that way.
Mm.
You got a great deal on a cruise, Amit, do you? Tell you what, get a buddy pass and we'll go together. All right, let's see Carol's work here.
yeah, I'm gonna bring it up.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find my folder. Why are you whispering, Carol?
I don't know.
So we can
Yeah, maybe.
I'll hear you.
be very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits.
I'll have to do it from my Twitter, I reckon. Hang on.
On with the show. This is it.
Here we go.
Somebody's calling me. I hear my phone ringing. I'm going to have to go get it in a second. case it's the
The
wife.
Cop. I know it is. It's always the cop.
It's 5-0, yeah.
I think it's the wife. Just
I could
call
be
him.
the still police.
There we go.
I that icon too.
All right, here we go. Oh, look at you go, Carol.
Yeah,
Very
it's great. I love it.
nice. Very nice. Very nice. Good for you.
Thank you.
Go into your phone, Doc.
What's wrong with being an addict? How does that make a person less than? Come on now. Yep, I'm gonna go check the phone. Manny, hold down the fort.
Okay, I'll do the best I can. If you come back and things are on fire, it's not my fault.
I can do that.
I'll blame
Hold
Carol. No, there'll be no burning of Doc's stream.
Insert you on
Really?
fire.
Oh, look, the house is on fire, yeah. Amit says, I am no longer a fan of Jordan Peterson after he was outed as an addict. Jeez, Amit, that's a bit fickle.
Why is it?
He's a survivor now.
Doesn't make him any different. Who cares?
Right.
Shut up. It's not important. I mean, it is, but it isn't.
It is, but it isn't.
So-
Like, I'm glad he got better,
Right.
especially now. Like, the
Yeah.
world needs him now more than ever.
He sounds like he cries during his speeches.
He does. Like, he gets quite emotional in some of them. Like, I've seen him, like, in a few, like, get to that point. Like, but I think it's because the idea that he's trying to express is so powerful that, like, it takes the breath out of you almost. No.
I
And,
listen
like,
to every
I've watched
single
him
one
do
you
it in
send
front
me,
of.
okay?
Did you? Oh, cool. Yeah, I've
I
seen him
think
do
so,
it in front of
yeah.
like massive crowds, and like he'll get to that point. But I think the crowd sort of feeds the fact that there's all those people there and they're discussing and trying to dissect an idea sort of gives him that extra edge to get to the bottom of it. Like,
Right.
so I don't know if he'd be able to have such or be that good at dissecting the idea if it was just him. You know what I mean? Like, I think having the crowd makes it easier.
Probably. But yeah. No, yeah, I listen to everything that you send me. I listen to, even if it's about aliens.
That's good. Smoke the Alien says,
No offense,
Carol
Mark.
figuratively burns a masterpiece in itself.
That's one of my favorite pictures I do. I like that.
I like that one. That's good too.
Yeah, it's one of my photos.
I like the one you're working on though too. That looks really good.
Thank
You've
you.
made heaps of progress on it too.
Yeah. I have to
Has it
walk
got a
away
name
from
yet?
it sometimes. No.
No,
I don't know.
you'll get one. It'll come to you.
Maybe.
Amit says, but each to his own. Yes, that's right, Amit.
Telling him how to. He's giving him ideas on how to. Right? Gun to their head.
Here's the thing. Addiction is what it is. Is he in recovery or is he in active addiction? He's in recovery. Therefore,
He looks a hell of a lot better than he did. Like,
his knowledge is still there. His training is still there. You know, the intellect is still there. You know, that's like saying, I don't trust Eddie Van Halen to play music because he uses drugs. Does the
you
music
sound
sound
like
good?
Ali now, Doc.
Does the music sound good?
Yeah, well, that's right. And honestly, like in saying that too, sometimes fighting an addiction like that and coming out of the other side of it gives you extra perspective.
Uh-oh.
What you do to him?
Uh-oh.
That
I
was
was just
mean.
trying to remove
What
the
did you
share.
do?
Come back. Come back, Manny.
Yeah.
I was just closing the share and I think I clicked the wrong thing. I boomered it up.
Trying to say words
I'm
and
so
things.
sorry.
Did you kick me out then? I was wondering what happened.
I boomered it up, man. I was trying to just get rid of the share screen thing.
You almost got through one stream, Doc, without doing it. Better luck next time.
Yeah. Ahmed says, well, that was not me.
Yeah, you don't have that much power, Amit.
Oh, but you know, guys, I am going to wrap this one. That's the wife, and she wants to
Do
go
it,
have
Heath.
breakfast. So I'm going to go pick her up, and we're going to go have breakfast. So, Carol, thank you for coming out, and Manny, it's always a pleasure. Chat, always great to see you guys. Amit, Smirk. Who else was here? Somebody else was here earlier.
The friend from the comic shop.
Yep.
And Shadowhawk Max.
And Shadowhawk, yeah. It's good to see everybody. Man, what a memory you've got, Manicore. That was awesome. Thank you.
I know. It's one of
All right,
my
guys.
strong points.
All right, have a great day, everybody.
Peace out.
And